Elijah McClain died from complications of a ketamine administration. That was the conclusion of McClain's amended autopsy report, which was publicly released today by the Adams County coroner.
Now, in August of 2019, despite doing nothing wrong, McClain was stopped by Aurora police, placed in a chokehold, and then ejected with a powerful sedative by paramedics. He died a few days later. 3 Aurora police officers and 2 paramedics have been charged with manslaughter. 9 News crime and justice reporter Matt Jablow has been following this for us, and this amended autopsy was completed nearly, 2 years ago. They've made changes. This is all pretty abnormal.
That's right, Alex. The initial autopsy report was completed on November 1st, 2019, about 2 months after McClain died. The cause and manner of death at that time and that report, the initial autopsy report, were both undetermined. The amended report was completed in July of last year after the Adams County coroner says she received information that was not initially made available. Complications of ketamine administration following forcible restraint. That's now Elijah McClain's official cause of death, according to the Adams County coroner. In a 12-page amended autopsy report, the coroner said she changed the cause of death because of body camera video and witness statements that were received after the initial autopsy report was completed. The amended report concludes that the dose of ketamine the paramedics gave McClain was, quote, higher than recommended for his weight, and that Mr. McClain would most likely be alive but for the administration of ketamine. As far as the neck hold that police placed McClain in, the report says that while McClain was under, quote, physiological and emotional stress during the course of his restraint, there was no evidence of, quote, trauma or lethal asphyxiation sufficient to cause death, and that he likely would have recovered if he did not receive the injection of ketamine.
The cause of death is now determined to be complications of ketamine administration, which is not the same thing as ketamine poisoning.
9 News legal analyst Scott Robinson says the amended report appears to bolster the defense of the 3 Aurora police officers charged with McClain's death.
It certainly helps the officers far more than it helps the paramedics, who, after all, are the individuals who administered the ketamine and decided the dose.
While McClain's cause of death was changed in the amended autopsy report, the manner of death, which includes categories like homicide and accident, remained the same, undetermined. Jenny and Alex?
Is that normal for there not to be a designation on it as well?
I think it's fair to say there's very little normal about this entire process. For the most part, autopsy reports are not amended, especially not in criminal cases.
And now there'll be 2 separate trials and so much more on this. I'm glad you're on top of it.
Matt, thank you. This afternoon, a 10-year-old girl is safe with her family after fighting off a man that tried to kidnap her outside of her school.
This happened around 7:30 this morning at STEM Launch K-8 in Thornton. That's where we find 9 News reporter Courtney Yoon tonight. Courtney, you've been following the story for about 8 hours now. Nobody is giving a whole lot of information, but what have you learned?
Yeah, Alex, what we know right now is that Thornton police are still looking for the suspect and they're still investigating this case. I spoke with parents at the STEM Launch K-8 school today, and they're saying that they're keeping their kids even closer today after the attempted abduction.
So it's scary. It has us, well, me as a parent, on high alert for everything.
Carissa Quintana,
We just live right down the street.
brought her kids home this morning after learning about the scary moments that took place just outside their school.
It's pretty scary to know that somebody's trying to kidnap kids and stuff, especially when it's like right here.
Take a look at these photos of the suspect. Thornton police describe him as a male, thin-build, blonde hair, and wearing a black Adidas hoodie with black pants, shoes, and gloves. Police say he may be associated with a dark-colored sedan or SUV crossover.
They need to let the parents be aware so that we know.
Adams 12 five-star school sent Carissa and other parents an email about the incident today. It said the suspect approached the student and attempted to grab her and remove her from the area. The student fought back, immediately alerted adults, and was able to scare the suspect away.
It's scary and it's hard, especially because our kids are going to be growing up in this world.
Carissa describes herself as a helicopter mom.
If they go to the park, I'm with them. If they go to school, I walk them, I pick them up.
A nickname she adopts gladly when it comes to her kids' safety.
So just make sure that you keep an eye on your kids and keep them close and, you know, just know what's going on around you.
Thornton police didn't want to go on camera today for this investigation, but they're still looking for that suspect. And if you think you recognized him from those photos, they're asking you to call Colorado Crime Stoppers. Today, Adams 12 5-star schools sent out an email to parents, and they also amended their pickup schedule today. So parents had to come physically get their children today at STEM Launch K-8, as well as Federal Heights and Hillcrest Elementaries. Alex?
All right, Courtney, thank you so much for your reporting. Sounds of a train's horn and sounds of panic. That is what led up to this, a police cruiser crushed by the impact of a train. We have shown you this video before, and we've shown it to you more than once. Today, though, new video is giving us another look at what happened. A warning, though, in advance, some people might find this next video hard to watch.
What you're going to see is that very moment the train crashed into the cruiser with the suspect inside. Now, she is alive. This happened about a week ago in Weld County. 9 Wants to Know investigator Jeremy Hohola obtained the video, and he's breaking it all down for us.
What you're seeing is police dashboard and body camera footage as Fort Lupton police help another police agency. They're responding to a road rage complaint involving a gun.
I'm right behind you, Vasquez. I'm going to your passenger side.
The Fort Lupton officer pulls up behind Platteville police. You can see their unit is parked right on train tracks during the stop.
Turn around! Turn around! Put your hands up higher.
Keep your hands above your head.
Don't move.
What's going on? Why am I being... We'll explain everything in a second.
That's 20-year-old Yareni Rios Gonzalez.
Where are you taking me? We're taking you to the car. Come on.
They place her in the police car parked on the tracks.
Do you have anything on you that's going to poke me, stick me, hurt me?
No, ma'am, but can I please get my cell phone?
We'll get your cell phone in a second. Is there any weapons in the car?
Ready?
No, ma'am, there's nothing on.
There's no weapons in the car?
Officers began searching her truck for a gun.
She could have, because...
And that's when you hear the first train horn in the distance.
She could have tossed something, but...
Tossed it out the window?
She could have, out that window, but... Who is that, Hart?
No, that's, Tom check. Oh my God! Oh my God!
A cut to another officer's body camera.
Move your car! Stay back!
And then another edit to this dashboard camera showing another officer standing next to the unit as the train barrels down to the inevitable.
346, patrol car was just hit by a train.
Chaos continues as police realize what happened. The clip is heavily edited, but we know the suspect is still alive in the mangled police unit.
There may still be a firearm in the vehicle. I don't know if you guys have been through it yet.
Weld County deputies show up and search the suspect's truck as medical units respond. One of them notes a weapon is found.
Here's your gun.
Amazingly, Rios Gonzalez is alive with 9 broken ribs, a broken arm, a fractured sternum, and numerous other injuries to her head, legs, and back.
We knew what happened, but to see it, my goodness. Investigators with the Colorado Bureau of Investigation are, of course, looking into this. Our legal experts have called this extreme recklessness by police. It's possible they could face criminal charges.
So far, that woman, Rios Gonzalez, has not been charged for the alleged road rage incident. The district attorney's office is reviewing that part of the case still.
Giving you a live look outside right now. This is Bow Mountain. Beautiful blue skies as we head. Oh, Kathy, is this the first official day of fall, right?
Yeah, last night. 7:03, the autumnal equinox. So today was the first full day of fall. I mean, summer goes out kind of gray and rainy and cool. So this just felt and to look amazing, right? I mean, that perspective that you get. And a lot of people are wondering, well, will it last into my weekend? I got a lot of weekend plans. I've got great news for you. So let's talk about it. Outside right now, just a few little tiny cumulus clouds dotting the horizon out there. Temperatures have soared to seasonal levels out of the 50s and 60s, back into the lower 80s. A lot of people heading into the high country. The leaves are starting to change. Great travel weather. If you're hiking, you're biking, you won't have issues with wind or lightning. Temperatures this afternoon, that's a little more like it. 81 in Denver, 80 in Greeley, comfortable 70s for Eagle, Aspen, Vale, and Telluride. Beautiful conditions in the high country. And on the water vapor imagery loop, we're not seeing a lot of water coming into the Four Corners area. High pressure is going to kind of cut off that moisture flow for a few days. Winds are cranking up a little bit, but the northwest flow is a downsloping event, and that that helps to dry out the atmosphere, which is already pretty stable and calm. So this evening, low 80s, temperatures dropping into the lower 70s after sunset. And coming up in our main weather segment, we've just got a beautiful mild evening ahead. Sunshine in 80s for the weekend, but the tropics are starting to heat up. It's been very quiet so far this hurricane season, but not for much longer, ladies. So we'll cover all that in weather in just a bit.
All right, sounds like a plan.
Thank you, Kathy. Coming up next, we have 9 News medical expert Dr. Pyle Coley joining us in the studio.
Today, she's looking at the rise in pregnant women deaths across the United States, an important conversation we're going to have. Also looking for a fun fashion event for a good cause. The executive director of Dress for Success is here talking about Unstoppable fashion show, Women on the Move.